Now we'll show you the removal of the secondary cylinder that is mounted roughly in this position inside the top's frame. The secondary cylinder is also called a fifth bow cylinder. Technically, the small fifth bow cylinder that we call the fifth bow cylinder, to keep it easy, is the fifth bow locking cylinder, and this one is also called a fifth bow cylinder, but just to not to confuse those two cylinders, we call this one the secondary. It lifts the rear of the fifth bow up. Now, this is the way it works. First bow, second, third, fourth, fifth bow. That's why fifth bow cylinder. It lifts up the fifth bow in this top, and again, there's the other fifth bow that helps with locking it down. So in order to get at this cylinder, we actually need to move the top a little bit, because we need to get at some E-clips that are in the upper mounting pins. So the best position, we believe, is when the top is, well, let's see, a hint past vertical. Now, I have cheated. I have already prepared a ratchet tie that I have around the steering wheel, or hooked into the steering wheel, and now I'll hook it up here into the top latch. Now, we want to make sure that we don't damage any weather stripping in the rear of this fifth bow, so we put a box or something in between the spacer. Got a pretty little top hydraulics box here. Anyway, this is a safe position. The top would be in a tendency to fall down, so there's tension on this, and we now have access to the mounting pins on these left and right secondary cylinders, mounting pin and ball joint on the bottom. To remove the upper mounting pin on the secondary cylinder, we first have to remove a circlip and E-clip on the outside of that pin. We slide our small flat screwdriver into the gap on the E-clip and move it up, and if we're lucky, then the clip stays attached to our screwdriver. Now we pull the upper pin out. We can just grab it with vice grips, like that. If your vice grips don't quite grab it well enough, then you want to take the E-clip off first, but it works out well here. We twist and pull, and the pin comes out. Now this one came out really easily. It's a smooth pin, but some of the pins in these Eclipses can be slightly serrated, and they can be in there tightly. That's why I said earlier that you may have to push it towards the inside first a little bit, then grab it with vice grips and grab it hard and twist and pull at the same time to get this pin out. You can later pound it back in. Apparently Mitsubishi sometimes made these pins very tight to prevent any kind of rattling. Why they made them super tight, I don't know, but this one we got lucky on. It came out easily. Next will be getting the circlip off the lower ball joint. So the cylinder is mounted upside down, and we want to get our screwdriver into the circlip that's on the bottom of this ball joint. Now, in order to release this circlip, we've shown you on another cylinder before, but just in case you didn't see that video, we want to push a small screwdriver into the groove on the back of this ball joint and work the clip. We don't want to get the clip all the way off the cylinder, because then we'll struggle putting it back on, but we want to walk it out of this groove a little bit. Like here we've gone up 1/8 of an inch, 3 millimeters, which made the clip spread, and it releases enough that we can then pull the cylinder off the ball joint. Let me show you Here we are, screwdriver in the groove, work it, work it, work it, walk the clip down a little bit, and now we're ready to release that ball joint. So here we are again. I pulled the top of the cylinder out of the bracket, and now we have free movement on this ball joint. I could just angle the cylinder over some more, but I'm afraid that I might break something, so instead I'll put a little open wrench on here. What did I use here? Size 9/16 or ½ inch, and put that in between and lever a little bit, and our ball is off the ball joint. Next we'll be removing the hoses, so come around and let's take a look at the hoses. So this is the right side secondary cylinder. It has line 24 on the blunt end, which is really the top this time because the cylinder is mounted upside down, and it has line 23 on the shaft end of the cylinder, and it has a travel sensor. I have already cut 2 zip ties. One was here, tying the wiring harness from the travel sensor to hose 24, and another one was here in the front, tying both hoses together. So I've cut 2 zip ties already. We want to remember to put those back on in the end. Now, removing the hoses is the same old story that you may have seen before. We need to first loosen up the sliding clips here so that we can have a gap to put our small screwdriver into, and then push the clips out all the way, and then we just pull the hoses out. So excuse all the wiggling here. An easy way to loosen them up a little bit is get your small screwdriver behind the clip here, behind the fitting. Let's give it another whack. There we go. It moved enough to get the screwdriver into the gap here. And push the clip out all the way. Clip number 1. We can already pull this hose out. Now we have a little bit more freedom of movement. We can turn line 24 towards the top of the cylinder, because that allows us to put our small screwdriver under the travel sensor here, lever the travel sensor up enough such that the screwdriver fits in the gap underneath, and we can pull this travel sensor out all the way. The hose fitting needs to be turned in the other direction to have clearance for these tabs on the travel sensor. Reason we remove the travel sensor first is that gives us an opportunity to knock on the end of this mounting clip as well. Give it a little whack. Tricky part is staying out of the view of the camera here. That's why things are a little awkward. So I turn my fitting again so that you can see me putting the screwdriver in the gap and pulling this clip out all the way. Here we remove line 24. And next up, install the rebuilt cylinder. Here's the freshly rebuilt cylinder from Top Hydraulics with 7 new seals, new and upgraded. You recognize that the dimples have been modified, so you can tell that this cylinder has been completely taken apart. And there's quite some know-how and advanced machinery behind it. It's absolutely not a do-it-yourself job to rebuild these cylinders. Now, the cylinder comes with O-rings for the hose fittings and a couple spares in case you drop one. So let me put the O-rings on the hose fittings first. Oops. 1. 2. Tricky part is always doing this while not having my head between the camera and the action. Now, the hose that I want to install first is the one on the shaft end of the cylinder, because it's kind of tight here, and we want to actually align the cylinder with the hose fitting this time. We want there to be no tension on the fitting, meaning it twisting sideways while we push it into the cylinder, to make it as easy and natural as possible. So I just line up the hole in the cylinder with the fitting, and that is it. It just eases in. We don't want to force this. When we force it, we might be kinking the O-ring. So once the fitting is at the right angle, it goes in easily. You just got a little bit of friction from the new O-ring, and we secure it again with the line clip. Push the line clip back into place. Got one hose secured. Next, the travel sensor, it just clips into place. Zip. Then line 24. Let's line it up such that we feel there is very little tension here, and it'll go straight into the hole. There, it went right in. Easy does it. Got the line secured. Next, I'll pop my ball joint onto the ball. There it is. Super easy. Then I push the cylinder back up into position to line up with the hole. Next, what I'll do is put a screwdriver in here and make sure the cylinder is centered on this 8mm hole, so that we can put our mounting pin back in. Now let's see, the mounting pin is still inside my vice grips here. Let's see how that lines up. Almost. I need to do a little correction. It needs to come up a tad. So let me use a slightly larger screwdriver that's pretty much the diameter of the pin almost, and I keep going in a circular motion, trying to adjust everything in this hole so the pin goes right through. Let's keep our fingers crossed. Let's see if it works. Here we go. Awesome. Now all we have to do is fasten the E-clip on the other side. I don't think I need to show you that. A nice trick for getting the E-clip on without it flying all over the place is putting a dab of grease on this dark surface here that it slides down on. That way it adheres to the surface and it doesn't go flying as you push it down in a controlled motion.